Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the National Weather Service Atlanta office's weekly weather briefing. I'm meteorologist Sid King, and I'm going to be giving you a rundown on what we can expect in the coming week. So to start out with some highlights, we have a cold front that's moving into north of Georgia this afternoon, and it's going to move south and eastward through central Georgia through the later parts of the day. Some scattered showers are ongoing ahead of the front, but we don't have any thunderstorms expected, and the rainfall is expected to remain light. Cooler and drier air will set up behind this cold front and persist Friday into Saturday. That will be short-lived as a low-pressure system brings widespread rain to the area Saturday into Sunday. There will be some isolated thunderstorms possible in central Georgia on Sunday, and rainfall amounts between 1.5 and 3 inches are expected roughly south of the I-85 corridor. These rainfall amounts could lead to localized flash flooding and river flooding concerns. The wet pattern is going to continue early next week, and another low pressure is going to bring additional rain into the area, especially Tuesday into Wednesday. Here's a look at our current conditions as we begin the afternoon. We've got a low pressure system that's entering the Great Lakes region and moving northeastward into the area. A cold front extending from that system is moving into the southeast, particularly moving into northeast Georgia as the period begins. That's going to continue to move eastward throughout the day, and we do have this area of scattered showers out ahead of it. The axis of the main precip is going to continue to push southeast this afternoon. Here's a look at our satellite imagery. You can tell the front has continued to advance into the area. We've started to see some clearing just in portions of north and west Georgia. And then taking a look at our radar, the showers have begun to become weaker and more diffuse as they've moved into east and central Georgia. So they're going to continue to weaken through the afternoon today before diminishing tonight. So for this afternoon, temperatures are unseasonably warm across the area. We have highs in the upper 60s across the far north, and then in the 70s across most of central Georgia this afternoon. Rain chances, these 70 to 90% chances across the north and west is stuff that actually already occurred this morning. So we're going to be looking at decreasing rain chances this afternoon, progressively lower that is, as the cold front continues to sink into central and east Georgia this afternoon. Rainfall amounts, like I mentioned earlier, are expected to remain light, less than ½ inch across north and central Georgia, and of course with such light amounts, no flooding concerns are anticipated at this time. We will have some gusty winds possible through the remainder of the day as the cold front moves through. We have wind gusts across the area forecast to range from as high as 20 to 30 miles per hour, and then 30 to 40 miles per hour across the higher elevations of northwest Georgia, here highlighted in yellow. For tonight, the rain chances come to an end as the front clears the area, and cold temperatures are going to build into north and central Georgia behind the front, with 30s across the far north and then 40s elsewhere across the forecast area. So as Friday begins, the cold front will have cleared the area down into the Florida Peninsula, and we'll have this increasing surface pressure behind the front, as you can see with that high pressure over the Ozarks region, and that'll be dipping down into the southeast over the course of the day. We're going to be looking at more seasonable conditions with cooler and drier air mass over the southeast, which will keep precip at bay through the end of the day. Here's what that's going to look like for that day, with temperatures in the 50s in North Georgia and then in the low 60s across the rest of the forecast area. And of course, minimal to no rain chances throughout the day. This break from the rain is going to be short-lived. We're going to start having precip spreading into the area with deep moisture in advance of a low pressure system. Here's 4 o'clock on Saturday. We don't really have any rainfall forecast here at the time per the GFS. However, as we go into the evening by about 10 p.m., we start having this low pressure develop off the Louisiana coast with a warm front extending from it, and then showers and thunderstorms being lifted over it that night, and into Sunday morning. Those will continue to spread into the area from the southwest through the overnight hours. So by about 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. on Sunday morning, we're going to have widespread showers across the area during that time. Here's a look from the WPC frontal map of what that's going to look like by 7 a.m. on Sunday. We have our surface low there over southern Alabama, and then deep moisture return over the just over the warm front, which is going to spread continuously spread showers and thunderstorms into the area. So for Sunday, we're looking at 80 to 90% rain chances across the area throughout the day, finally diminishing during the overnight hours and into Monday morning. There will be a slight chance of embedded thunderstorms, mainly in central Georgia. Talking about rainfall amounts, those are going to be highest roughly along and south of I-85. There could also be rainfall amounts as high as 2 to 3 inches in portions of east central Georgia throughout the day on Sunday. Locally heavy rain could lead to isolated flash flooding and river flooding in these areas I mentioned. However, although there could be some localized flooding, widespread severe weather is not expected at this time. The wet pattern is going to continue next week. We will have a brief break from the rain on Monday afternoon as high pressure briefly builds into the area. But on the heels of that, another low pressure system will enter the area Tuesday and bring chances back to the area Tuesday and into Wednesday. So here's the 3-day outlooks Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for Atlanta, Athens, Columbus, and Macon. And you can see we're up to 60% rain chances on Tuesday and then about 35 to 45% on Wednesday. Rainfall is forecast to be about 1 inch across the area at this time. Could have some locally higher amounts possible, and with wet soils from Sunday and early Monday, you can't rule out some flash flooding and river flooding given the already wet soils. Some uncertainty does remain for next week's systems, so keep an eye out for future updates. So given we're in an active, fairly wet pattern, this is what our forecast rainfall totals are going to look like today through next Wednesday. A lot of our area looks like it's going to range from 1 to 2 inches. However, the area in central Georgia could get as much as 2.5 to 4 inches over the next week. And finally, here's our drought monitor. There are areas of abnormally dry to moderate drought conditions, generally in South Georgia. The rainfall I just mentioned over the next week should inhibit drought development. A cold front is going to continue to push through north and central Georgia this afternoon. Scattered showers are ongoing ahead of this front, but are continuing to diminish through the afternoon. And no thunderstorms are expected through the remainder of the day. Cooler, drier air is also expected to set up over Georgia Friday and Saturday after the cold front clears the area. A low pressure system will bring widespread rain into the area Saturday and Sunday after our brief break from the rain. Some isolated thunderstorms will be possible, along with rainfall amounts of 1.5 to up to 3 inches, roughly south of the I-85 corridor. This could lead to localized flash flooding and river flooding. The wet pattern is going to continue early next week with another low pressure bringing additional rain into the area Tuesday and Wednesday. And that concludes our weekly weather briefing. Here's our contact information if you ever need to get in touch with us. On behalf of all of us here at NWS Atlanta, we'd like to thank you all for your attention, and we hope you have a great week.